Exchange, where your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. A company that is involved in the community is a company that builds a better culture and image. We discuss corporate social responsibility and public relations with Visions and Expressions President Ginggay Joven-dela Merced. Ginggay, great to have you with us. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, Rico. Thank you for having me here. So exciting.
Oh, yes, especially corporate social responsibility. From a PR perspective, how important is CSR for a corporation?
If you look at it from a PR point of view alone, then you've already failed. Because you have to actually genuinely care. When you enter in business, you enter a social contract with your public. So naturally, you're profiting from that public, from your audience. So isn't it incumbent that you also give back in whatever capacity you can? Otherwise, it's just pure greed. So it's also nice. It reveals the heart and soul of a company. It also makes people regard that company with respect and dignity. So I think the PR point of view is the last on your mind, as with any altruistic endeavor, although it's a business.
Yeah, well, CSR has to have meaning, it has to have purpose, and you really truly want to genuinely give back to society.
Because the public can see it. You've been in media, Rico. You can actually kind of decipher already who's just pretending and who's someone who's really genuinely passionate. And the public, they can see through the companies, they can see through the actions, they can see through certain activities. So if it's not genuine or inherent in the culture, especially in the owner, the founder, that's usually where it starts. He tends to set the culture of the company. And if it's not genuine, it will manifest.
But are there still some companies that get into CSR because they want it to be a show, they want for the photo opportunity, they want it for their marketing?
I mean, I can't say there's none, of course. I mean, that's just human nature, I suppose. You want to look good. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that not all of them are totally unfounded. Meaning some of them actually genuinely want to do good. They just don't know how. They don't have the arms and legs to do so. And so it's actually very nice if people can be educated about what they can do in what capacity they need to be ready for.
But they also say that CSR is for tax perks.
Oh, of course. Why shouldn't that be a benefit? I mean, it's been mandated in legislature that most companies are already encouraged. The wording was very funny. It was mandated to encourage. So it's mandated but encouraged. But it actually is by law something that everyone is supposed to take part in. I mean, we are all interconnected. So if a company is profiting from the public, why shouldn't the public also get something in return? Which is actually...
It's give and take.
It's give and take, yeah. And it makes us all work together.
But for companies that are still unsure or face challenges on how to undertake corporate social responsibility, what are the usual mistakes? And how can these mistakes be plugged?
Well, the first is if you think of it only as a tax break. I mean, of course, that's obvious. But one is a lot of my clients, for instance, or even the smaller companies, they want to do it, they just don't know how to, like I said. First, if you don't know how to do a framework, work with a professional organization, an NGO or partner with the government, someone who actually knows how to do these things without unnecessarily spreading your resources, because companies have to profit to be able to engage in CSR. I mean, let's not kid ourselves that companies have to be profitable. They're businesses, they're not charities. So they have to learn to work with people on the ground who have the capacity. And other than that, or that adds to being thorough and thoughtful. Because a lot of them just want to do it because it's a fad or it's a trend, or my coworkers, my competitors doing it also. So I think if they actually sit down and really think it through, and not a knee-jerk reaction, because this is a commitment of the company on the long term.
Do you give advice to corporations on in which sectors or which beneficiaries they should be looking into?
Thankfully, I would love to do that, but thankfully our clients or the people we've worked with, the companies, actually have that ingrained already. I mean, God bless, right? We're so lucky that we don't have to educate them to have that as a priority. However, having said that, there's always a incumbent upon us to encourage friends, owners of companies to engage in this, because we do it in our own capacity as a PR company, although we're very small. We're very much big in the environment. So even before the pandemic, we had already eradicated paper press releases, which we generate 5,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now it's digital. So I think it's all also really understanding the client. What is the client about? You see the sparks in their eyes when they talk about certain causes.
What best practices from abroad can we still imbibe here in terms of corporate social responsibility in companies?
Putting a professional group in that. Filipino corporations, or even smaller, especially smaller companies, we kind of try to do it on our additional work for certain people. I think the best way to think about it is it's also an entity within your company. So it has to have its own people, dedicated people. And if you can't afford it right away, at least have that vision that will have to be calendared in your CAPEX so that it's professionally handled. You can get into crisis if CSR projects are not well thought of or well executed.
And they fail.
And they actually backfire. It's actually worse. It made you, it was detrimental rather than it was beneficial. And here you are only wanting to do good. I don't mean to be preachy, but I really hope that this is something companies really ponder and actually do with a sincere heart.
Yes.
It's Christmas, so it's good. If they haven't started, it's a good time to start.
Ginggay, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
And thank you so much for this public relations exchange. Visions and Expressions President Ginggay Joven-dela Merced. And before we go here, words from Forbes magazine founder BC Forbes. Christmas is a tonic for our souls. It moves us to think of others rather than of ourselves. It directs our thoughts to giving. And this is the exchange to make sense of the facts and the figures and the ups and downs of the business cycle, because your business is our business. I'm Rico Hizon. Thanks for watching CNN Philippines. News you can use. News you can trust.